Hello, fellow artisans. Welcome back to SeniMania with Humaira here. In the safe space for artists and art enthusiasts where we talk about art without pretending we fully understand everything. Because honestly, who does? So today we are going to dive into one of the hottest, most chaotic, and slightly scary topics in the creative world right now: generated AI. Yes, the kind of AI that can suddenly create illustrations, paintings, music, poems, and sometimes things that look amazing. And sometimes things that look like they were made at 3 a.m. with zero sleep. So, generated AI didn't just appear out of nowhere. Its growth has been gradual but explosive. Decades ago, computers were already being used for simple generative art. Then machine learning entered the scene in 2010s, and fast forward for the last few years, AI suddenly becomes smart enough to understand styles, patterns, moods, and even vibes. Now you just type a prompt, hit enter, and boom, art appears faster than instant noodles. Naturally, this growth has shaken the art community worldwide, including Indonesia, our lovely country, where many artists rely on commissions and freelance work. On one hand, AI has helped small businesses, startups, and creators with limited budgets produce visual quickly and affordably, which is honestly a big win. On the other hand, many artists feel the pressures when clients start saying things like, "Can you make it cheaper? AI can do it." It was like, ouch. That hits harder than a rejected proposal email. The balance within the art community is shifting, and not everyone feels safe standing on it. When we talk about the pros of generated AI, it is really important to be fair. First, AI increases accessibility, allowing people who cannot draw or compose music traditionally to express idea visually or sonically, and it's also boosts productivity by acting as a creative assistant for brainstorming, concepting, and experimenting. And it encourages exploration without fear of failure because AI never judges you for having a weird idea. One of the most lauded aspects of AI image generators is their innate ability to make digital art, design, and creation more accessible. When ideas run dry, AI can act as a prompt. Its streams of images may not always provide a finished piece, but it can nudge the mind in a new direction. Sometimes the value lies less in the picture itself than in the spark it provides. AI cannot invent imagination, but it can stretch it. Artists often describe these tools as sparring partners, throwing in a concept, and the result can be surprising. Some are off the mark, others spark something new. Fashion designers have begun testing patterns with AI, while illustrators mix AI drafts with their own brushstrokes. So it feels less like replacement and more like collaboration. From an environmental point of view, using AI tools can really help boost sustainability and social responsibility. Like letting computers handle image generation might be much more gentler on the environment compared to the emissions from human creative travels and the demand from new photographic gear. Of course, we can also lessen this impact further by reusing and repurposing technology in a sustainable way. In another positive development, AI image and art generators allow anyone, regardless of experience or skill level, to draw and express creative freedom. Even amateur designers or novices with no natural art proficiency can explore their artistic side, which may have eluded them in the past. What's more, Experienced designers, artists, and content creators can rapidly iterate on images that can supplement and support their projects. They can alleviate many of the inherent time pressures that arise when creating assets from scratch under tight deadlines, not to mention the time consuming editing and refinement processes. In design and marketing, speed often matters as much as talent. So, AI has the inhuman power to draft dozens of options in the time it will take one person to sketch a single idea. That pace not only save time, the saved effort make it easy for users to try out wilder ideas or experiment with different directions. However, the cons are just as real and a lot. The ethical issue arises when AI models are trained on artists' work without consent. The value of original art can feel diluted when good-looking images are everywhere, and many AI-generated works start to feel similar, polished and impressive, yet oddly empty, like a perfectly framed photo with no story behind it. Sure, AI can churn out a beautiful picture in seconds, but look closer, and things can get weird. A sure giveaway of AI-generated image is that they are more than just human errors. For example, hands with too many fingers, eyes that don't quite line up, or whole scenes that just don't match. And since these are tools trained on existing images, the results often feel more like a remix than something truly original. So, this AI thing really can push people out of work. This is a big one. If a small business can type a prompt and get a free logo or ad, where does that leave graphic designers and illustrators? Some people say AI could help creatives focus on more interesting projects, but others worry it will just mean fewer paid opportunities for artists. And here's the tricky part. AI art tools work based on billions of images in the internet, including work from artists who never said yes to their art being used. So when AI creates something that looks a lot like their style, it feels a lot like stealing. Some artists have even seen mere copies of their work generated by AI, and that's understandably upsetting. We don't usually think about this, but running these big AI systems eats up a ton of energy. But here's the thing about an AI tool. Despite their differences, they all share an insatiable appetite for energy, lots of it. And as they scale up, their hunger only grows. Early machine learning systems ran comfortably on desktop computers with minimal power consumption. Some of today's most prominent AI systems use 100,000 GPUs, these specialized chips that crunch AI calculation, drawing as much electricity as a small city and filling server farms that span several football fields. For perspective, Meta's flagship AI system relied on about 16,000 of these chips, a setup that would fit in a single, much smaller facility. As we speak, clusters of more than 300,000 GPUs are entering the drawing board too. Artificial intelligence technologies like chatbots are attracting growing scrutiny to their hungry energy demands. However, energy consumption is only one part of their broader environmental impact. Last year, ChatGPT, the most popular AI chatbot run by OpenAI, celebrated its second birthday. In its brief existence, the platform has amassed over 300 million weekly users who send roughly 1 billion messages to chatbot per day. Here's where the data gaps become yet more problematic. AI's environmental impact isn't far beyond carbon emissions, creating a web of consequences that even harder to track. Take water for instance. By some estimates, just 15 ChatGPT queries guzzle half a liter of clean water needed to cool those massive data centers, and two-thirds of new facilities are being built in water-scarce regions. Then there's embodied carbon, the emissions required to manufacture all that hardware, mining rare earth mineral for GPUs, and shipping components around the globe. And because AI development moves at breakneck speed, perfectly good equipment becomes obsolete fast, creating a growing mountain of electronic waste. With $6.6 billion raised in its last funding round, OpenAI has emerged as one of the most valuable private companies in the world. Training the models requires a significant amount of computing power, which in turn consumes substantial amounts of electricity and generates substantial carbon emission. One image might not matter much, but billions of them do. And in a world that already dealing with climate issues, that's a cost that we cannot ignore. This leads to the big question: how can artists survive and stay authentic in the age of AI? The answer is not to fight technology blindly, but to lean into what AI cannot replicate: personal experience, emotion, cultural background, life story, and human intention. Artists can use AI as a tool rather than a replacement, letting it help with workflows while keeping their own voice at the center. Building a personal brand, engaging with communities, collaborating, exhibiting, and sharing process and meaning all become even more critical now. At the end of the day, AI is powerful, but it doesn't feel heartbreak, joy, doubt, or obsession, the very things that make art resonate. Generated AI is not the enemy of art, nor is it a magic solution. It's simply a tool, and tools are only as meaningful as the hands that use them. As long as artists remain honest with their work and intentional in their choices, AI will stay in the background, useful and impressive, but will never be the soul of human creativity. Phew, that has been a long discussion about AI, huh? This has been SeniMania with Meira. Do not worry about losing your creativity, authenticity, and just keep doing your art. Do what you love because the real art itself is the humanity inside yourself, buddy. Keep creating, keep questioning, and don't worry, AI still cannot hang out for coffee and complain about deadlines yet. See you on the next SeniMania podcast. Goodbye.